Live from the Score Atlanta television studios in North Atlanta, this is Georgia High School Sports Daily, powered by IBEW Local 613.
All right, welcome to Friday's edition of the Georgia High School Sports Daily, right here on the Peachtree Sports Network. Every day, Craig Sager to my left. Najee Wilkins will be on Zoom in a couple of minutes. I want to welcome everybody. Big day for us here at Score Atlanta. Not only will we have the show today until 1 o'clock, but tonight we've got our bracket busting show that will start at 8 o'clock. That'll be on from 8 to 11. We'll give you guys a really good indication of everything going on in all 8 classifications. Of course, for the most part, Craig, 4 of the classifications are done except for some games that need to be played tonight and a game tomorrow. Yep. But we'll be able to go to our big board here. We'll have all the brackets. We'll also do what's called the green screen, which I think everybody will really love. But tonight, really a lot of fun. It's going to be a really good show. And we're going to be able to tell everybody at least for 4 classifications where they're playing. And then for the other classifications, which will not actually be official until tomorrow, we'll be able to give you a really good idea of what the brackets are. But let's go to our fast break headlines to start off. This is a great story. You know, Craig, we had Rome, of course. They had the bus accident. They couldn't play Creekside in Corky Kell, Dave Hunter Classic, which was disappointing. But Coach John Reed's done a fabulous job. Senior linebacker Rome's Jaden Harmon wins the MVP of the 5A Region 5 and just has had a fabulous season. So he earns those honors. Coach Reed earns Coach of the Year honors. Really, you know, Rome just really, they couldn't play the first game. I think they started, what, 0-2, 0-3 or...
Yeah, they started rough.
I mean, games, so it was a tough one.
It's pretty amazing, and obviously they were fortunate. No one was seriously injured in that accident, but there were a ton of injuries. I know you talked to Coach Reed afterwards. I'm impressed, though, with what I've seen from Rome. I felt like last year they've had a pretty easy time in the region. They blew them out by like 42 points per game, but this year they lose Reese Fountain. Jaden Harmon steps up, leading that defense, but then he's also coming on offense. And then last year when we televised their Carrollton game, they ended up losing that one. Chance Arthur got hurt in that game. Well, he's back. He's having a great season. So I think it really brought the team together. They're going to be dangerous in the playoffs.
Yeah, they are. And I want to wish the best to Rome and Coach, our friend John Reed, up there. All right, Najee, you've got the second headline. 2 Savannah area GHSA games are really the big games to watch this weekend.
Right. Yeah, I'll take this one. All right.
Oh,
so,
I'm sorry, Craig.
Oh, no problem. So these are 2 games in the Savannah area. The stakes are a little different. New Hampstead and Ware County, that is already figured out. New Hampstead will not make the playoffs. Ware County has already earned that number 4 seed. So really, if you've been following New Hampstead this year, you know that Rashawn Chewell, their quarterback, broke the single game state record for yards. So how will he go out senior season? He's also a great basketball player, but I expect them to really try to light it up tonight, knowing that this is their last game. Then you have Calvary Day and Long County. This is a really intriguing matchup. If you look at Class 3A right now, this will be for the region title. One's a private school, one's a public school, but this is for the region title. So this will impact who's going to take one of those top 7 seeds in Class 3A. Currently in the postseason rankings, Calvary Day is at number 7. Long County is at number 16 in Class 3A, but they will be going head-to-head. And if Long County is able to beat Calvary Day, they will get a top 7 seed. So a big Savannah crosstown rivalry tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Hey, interesting story coming up. Seth Ellerby, who is our guy in Macon, actually wrote the story. It's talking about Bartow County's investment in esports, in an esports arena, which will provide the new home for the GHSA state championships. Craig, we've been able to sort of see how that's been built as far as the sport itself, and you know, it's a state championship. It has been for a few years, but they're going to have a new home this season, and that's the creation of the STEM Innovation Center and Esports Arena in Bartow County. The stadium, I mean, just state of the electronic throughout the venue. We'll try to pull a picture for you But Bartow County really spared no expense, and the centerpiece is actually the arena itself, which is 7,000 square feet. Paula Camp, the Director of Advanced Learning, STEM, and Gifted Programs, told Alicia Evans in September, after 2 years of planning and working with Power Up EDU, our vision is finally becoming reality. They used to, Craig, hold this at the University of West Georgia, but the construction of the arena marks a major shift in the perception and appreciation of the future of esports and innovative technologies at the high school level. As I said, the venue is located in Bartow County at the College and Career Academy, and those championships, okay, which will cap off the playoff race from November 18th to December 6th, will be on December 4th. And it's become a big deal, Craig.
It is.
Really
the pictures they blew me away. And I think what's interesting about Bartow County, I was just there for the volleyball state championships. They got the Lake Point there. I know you've been down to Florida for like spring training, some of the youth baseball. That entire Cartersville area is so invested in youth sports. It's pretty incredible. And just having another championship go there, I think it's a big draw for them.
Yeah, and it continues to grow. So, Craig,
Yes.
You've got our next headline.
All right, the cross-country championships are returning to Carrollton this Friday and Saturday. We will have coverage up at scoreatl.com. The boys defending champs that are back are Harrison, Marist, Chattahoochee, Westminster, Oconee County, Providence Christian, Whitfield, and Atlanta Classical. Harrison did get upset by Denmark in their sectional this last weekend, so watch out for that one. Obviously, Marist, they're led by Tommy Latham, probably the greatest distant runner to ever come through the state. On the girls' side, you have defending state champion Marietta, Marist, Decatur, Pace Academy, Wesleyan, Athens Academy, Buckley County, and Atlanta Classical. From what I've seen from this past weekend, the most dominant team was probably Whitfield Academy on the boys' side, but be sure to watch that, and we will have all that. The Pope girls also had a great showing.
All right, Najee, you've got Carver Atlanta at Hapeville Charter, Thompson at Burke County battle for region titles.
Excuse me. So, yes, Headline 5 is Carver Atlanta playing against Hapeville Charter. Should be a really good game. Region championship on the line. Region 5 2A championship for both teams. You got Montavious Banks, who's having a phenomenal season. He has 20 touchdowns so far this year. 10 to Terrius Favors. Lateus Stepp has had a good year on both sides of the ball, running the ball and also being able to get tackles for loss. And it's been a big turnaround season for Carver Atlanta. 3A finals in 2021, semifinals in 2022. And then on the other side of things, with Hapeville Charter, already had some key wins so far this year, beating some really good teams. So that's going to be one to watch for. Two really good opponents in the Region 2 championship. Both are ranked also in the two-way poll. And then you have Thompson at Burke County. Game will decide Region 4 2A champion. Thompson is ranked number 10. Burke County is number 6. In 2023, when they played, Burke County won 14-12. Burke County stopped a two-point conversion with 1:53 left to go in the game. These teams played in the same region from 2014 to 2021, so they are familiar rivals. They've played a lot. The other five won the last 7 region titles as well. So 2 really elite matchups with 2 great teams. It should be fun to watch on Friday night and to follow.
All right, let's update everybody what's going on in the Georgia High School Football Daily. Of course, it's the morning newsletter from Todd Holcomb and Chip Say. And, of course, every Friday they bring together the statistics. The passing race is certainly going down to the wire. Quarterbacks, we'll talk about that in a second. Chattooga Zayden Cook, has clinched the regular season rushing title last week with the 302-yard effort. Final effort in regular season puts him in the record books, and so he'll win the rushing title. Najee, how good is Zayden Cook?
He's very good. He's an elite back. He's one of the best in the state. IJ doesn't get talked about enough of what he's been able to do this season. I mean, virtually, I've seen one of his runs. He had 3 or 4 defenders on him and bounced off all of them and scored a touchdown. So, I mean, he's incredible. He definitely needs more notice. We've had him featured a couple times on Underrated and Overlooked for our show. Just continues to be, one of the best backs that's underrated, but has been putting up just game-changing numbers.
Well, I mean, you look, he finished, Craig, with 2,735 regular season yards. That's second most in GHSA history between Traylon Shepard's 2,874 for Harrison County in 218, and actually ahead of Nick Chubb, who went Cedartown in 2021. excuse me, not Cedartown 2021. That'd be too late. We have the wrong year there. But Chubb in his senior year had 2,721 yards. So big deal there. Morgan County's Jalen Elder appears safe as a regular season receiving leader. He's got 1,349 yards. And then, of course, we talk about the passing leader right now. It's Antoine Hill, Houston County. He's completed his regular season tonight, okay? So we're just taking a look at the passing right now. Antoine Hill from Houston has 2,874 yards. Behind him is Tanner Savasur from Cherokee, who has 2,674 yards. And then Mason Bryan of Paulding County, Tucker Perkins of Effingham County, and Weston Taylor of Cambridge. So there's still, you know, a couple quarterbacks that are playing tonight. They're going to get the opportunity to finish number one, Craig,
yeah,
in
and
passing.
The other, I thought, outstanding note was Brookwood's Braden Tyson. He set the state record in the highest classification. This guy's only a sophomore, 2,178 yards. Pretty incredible. And he broke the record set by a former Brookwood player, Kenny Miles.
Yeah, Kenny Miles. That was, I remember Kenny back from 2017. Yes, 2007. GHSA scoring records. This was a good one that Todd pulled up. Lees County, 543 points scored this season, are the 5th most in GHSA history. Dublin also has reached the 500-point mark. The top 10, just so you know, in 2019, the record was set, 552 points by Eagles Landing Christian, 549 Dublin in 2005, 549 by the 2011 Camden County team. So congratulations to Lee County. We'll see if that's going to be able to hold up against a very, very good Milton team if the two meet in the Class 5A playoffs. All right, Woodward's Academy's Lamb and Walker named the GHSA, not the GHSA, the Georgia High School Football Daily Student Athlete of the Week. Want to congratulate Walker, a senior quarterback at Woodward Academy. He wins the Scout Smart Student Athlete of the Week. Walker, who had a 4.37 GPA, passed for 1,898 yards and 20 touchdowns, also rushed for 369 yards and 8 touchdowns this year. All right, let's move to trivia. Thursday's trivia. Richard Morgan stepped down as Marietta's coach this week. A little bit of a surprise there, Craig. We'll talk about that later. Morgan actually led Marietta to its 2nd state title in history. Who is Marietta's all-time winningest coach? And of course, that was Ray Broadway. The hints there were Ray Broadway, French Johnson, Dexter Wood, or Friday Richards. I haven't even looked at that, but I would say Friday Richards.
He was close. He was about 10 games behind him. It was actually French Johnson.
French Johnson, the all-time winningest coach with a 124-50-7 record. That was from 1956 to 1972. And, of course, he won a state title in 1967. They're a city school, but that was the only Cobb County football championship, I think, until Harrison won. Real quick, Friday, today's trivia question. Milton wide receiver C.J. Wiley committed to Georgia this week. That gives Bulldogs 6 of this year's AJC Super 11 players with potential for a 7th as uncommitted Manchester defensive lineman Justice Terry remains a major Georgia target. 7 would represent the most Georgia Super 11 since 2002. Which other 4 AJC Super 11s are not committed to Georgia? Julian Lewis of Carrollton, Luke Nickel of Milton, Elijah Griffin of Savannah Christian, Kadarius Reddick of Thomas County Central, Elias Williams of Camden County, Isaiah Gibson of Warner Robins, Zayden Walker of Shiley County, A.J. Hill of Houston County, or Arsmain Croma of Lee County. You know which
I know Najee knows, but I'm going to go Juju, Reddick, Nickel, and Hill.
Is he right, Najee?
Committed to Georgia?
Not committed to Georgia.
Oh, yeah, definitely right. Yeah, 100%.
Just making sure.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to be right back. We got a lot coming up. Don't forget tonight, 8 to 11, we've got our GHSA football bracket show right here on the Peachtree Sports Network.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their athletic abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision. Our team brings it to life.
The Georgia Sheet Metal JETC equips apprentices with the knowledge and skills required to start a rewarding career in the sheet metal industry with programs in HVAC, industrial welding, and testing, adjusting, and balancing. Training is 100% free and allows apprentices to earn as they learn. Journeymen graduate with no student debt and have the potential to earn more than most college graduates. Visit our website to learn more about this opportunity at careersinsheetmetal.com.
This makes my dad proud. He went through his whole career as an employee. Now I'm the employer, something he didn't achieve.
We are signatory to IBEW and do IBEW people wherever we go that we feel like they are faster and better than any of our competition.
The advantages of being a signatory contractor is you're trained employees. You have unlimited manpower. It allows me to bid on jobs that I ordinarily would not go after.
Man, you know how to do this? Man, I don't even know. I was flipping burgers last week.
Violation, unsportsmanlike conduct, impersonating a craftsman.
Skilled trade unions are well-trained career pros, not part-timers. Construction is a rewarding and lucrative career with the advancement potential, but you have to do it the right way with the right training. Learn how you can be a pro. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Georgia High School Sports Daily is brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 613. Electrify your career.
All right, want to welcome everybody back to the Georgia High School Sports Daily. Don't forget, you can watch us Monday through Friday on Peachtree Sports Television, Peachtree Sports Network. We're also available on the Atlanta News First app as well as Zeem, which is the CBS streaming portal, and the National Federation High School Network. And our show tonight will also be available on all those digital networks as well as the TV networks, Peachtree Sports Network. And by the way, the easiest way to tell people about the Peachtree Sports Network is it's on all the cable systems in Georgia, Comcast, Spectrum, and the others. It's also on YouTube TV. So for a lot of you that now have pulled the cord, you can go to YouTube TV and grab the show. Want to bring in Callaway coach, head football coach Pete Wiggins, friend of Score Atlanta, friend of Corky Kell. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on the show.
So we haven't seen each other since Corky. Of course, that was an interesting night with the weather up in Rome. We sat there trying to figure it out, and you guys were able to at least play the game the next day. Coach, you took a couple of tough losses early, one to Cass, the other out of state to Opelika, but you've come back, won the region title, won 8 straight. You have to feel really good about where the team is right now.
We do. We've gotten better as the season has progressed. Starting off 0-2 was very difficult, but we played 2 really good football teams in Cass and Opelika, teams that very well coached. They have good players and a lot of depth. So I found out a lot about ourselves in those games. But I was really proud of our kids, our coaching staff, for just sticking to what we do. And our guys have worked really hard at practice. They've continued to work in the weight room, and I feel like we've gotten better each week. So, I'm excited about where we're at right now. We still have to continue to progress and keep getting better, but I'm proud of our kids.
Coach, talk a little bit about the win over Morgan County. That's never easy. That was for a region title. You had those guys at your place. It was an excellent football game. You guys end up on top 33-26. Tell us a little bit about that football game and how it went for your team.
Well, first of all, it was a great great game. I mean, I've this is my 28th year coaching ball, and I think it's a game that I'll never forget. And it's two good teams competing on Friday night. Morgan County is very well coached. They've got good players. They were physical, and to be able to get that win, I was really excited for our program. Our coaching staff put a lot of time into it. Coach Zach Giddens, Coach Casey Smith worked really hard on preparing for that game, and then going into the week, I think that our kids, we worked really hard on the field in preparation, knowing that Morgan County's a lot of tradition. They were 9-0 and very, very well coached, and we knew that it would be a difficult game. We knew that it would be a 4-quarter game, and I think that our kids handled that well, and I was really proud of our guys for the execution last Friday night.
Absolutely. Morgan County, they are a complete team. They're experienced. They were really high in the polls. That was a great team win for you guys. But one player that I saw stood out, that was Tyron Buggs. He came back from an injury this season. Looks like he's had a big impact. Talk about that timeline, his return, and then what you've seen from him back in the lineup.
Well, Tyron Buggs is an impact player. I mean, he's explosive. He's got great hands. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. So, offensively, he allows us to use the entire field. I mentioned the word explosive. I mean, he's fast. He's 195 pounds, and so he makes plays. He was a really good player for us last year. He tore his ACL during basketball season, and he had that surgery, and he's worked extremely hard in the off season. We got him back week 5, and it's really been it's been great, number one, for him, and to see him back on the field, and all the hard work that he's done to see his successes on Friday night is very special. But we're really proud to have him back now. He's a difference maker.
We're talking to Cass head coach Pete Wiggins. Coach, talk a couple of things. I'm looking at the 2A brackets. I'm not going to put any pressure on you, but I think this bracket's going to come down between you and Carver, Atlanta. But let me ask you this about how they're doing the power rankings and everything. Of course, you're not going to probably find out who you're going to play. I think 2A has buys, doesn't it?
No,
there are no buys, Coach, in the first round, I don't think. No buys. So you're not going to find out who you play until probably sometime late Saturday, right?
That's correct. But how do I feel about it? What's our opinion on it? Maybe right now I don't know. Right now, we're everybody's got the same set of rules. So we'll just we'll wait till Saturday to see. It's different. In my career, I've always had an idea. I wanted to have a plan on who we might play, who we might face, so we could start preparing. Perhaps we're not playing tonight, so perhaps go and see an opponent. But with this situation, it's really, really hard to do that. But we'll see how it all works out. I don't want to be positive or negative about it yet until I know a little bit more. But I'm excited about where we're at right now as a football team, and regardless of who we play, we'll have to prepare and go to work Saturday night and then Sunday, and getting our football team ready for that first round.
Yeah, and winning the region was huge because those teams are going to get the priority in the seeding. So it's not like your typical bracket where you have 8 number 1 seeds and you might have to rely on a coin flip. You'll be
1 through 8.
Yeah, you'll be able to get a top 3 seed, top 4, and you'll be hosting. So how huge is that going to be just to have the home field, regardless of who you play, in a classification where you got teams in Northwest Georgia, kind of all over the state?
Well, I think I think it's great to get to play at home. I wish we could play at home every week. I mean, I think that home field advantage is very important as you go through the playoffs. Over the course of playing a lot of games in on the road, being at home over the years, I definitely like the opportunity to play at home in front of the home crowd, in front of or at our stadium that we're familiar with. I think all that's a big deal. I think that's an advantage, and hopefully, as the playoffs progress, we can maintain that.
Well, Coach, we appreciate it. We want to wish you the best of luck. I'm looking forward to seeing you at Corky Kell next season. We got a long way until we get there, but good luck in the playoffs.
Hey, thank you very much for having me on the show, and I appreciate what you guys do.
Thanks, Pete. Appreciate it. Pete Callaway,
Yes, sir.
head football coach at Cass. Coming up, we're going to talk about the cross-country championships. We've got the associate director, Tanya Anderson of the GHSA. We'll have her when we come back on the Georgia High School Sports Daily.
Hello.
Hey, Tanya, how you doing?
Hey, it's Tanya. I'm good.
Tanya, I'm sorry.
No
I
problem.
don't know why I call it. Where I'm actually dealing with an insurance agent. Her name is Tanya. So right now,
Yeah.
actually, I'm actually online with her. So
Okay.
Thank you. So thank you.
All right, Division One girls.
That's good. No problem. It's kind of loud here, so I'm going to do the best I can.
Sure.
You have 14 minutes to warm up. Then we'll call you to the line.
Commercial, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, Tanya, can you turn your phone sideways? Got it.
The girls race is completed and scored, then we will have the awards are going across. On the display boards, they have the left-hand board as the team scores, and the right-hand side is the individual results on a scrolling basis.
Georgia High School Sports Daily is presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Transform your future today. And by Smart Local 85. Sheet metal is a smart move.
All right, I want to welcome everybody back to Friday's edition of the Georgia High School Sports Daily. We certainly want to thank our friends at IBEW, local. They're just, they've been a big supporter of ours, Kenny Mullins and the whole gang over there, and certainly want to thank them because this show is powered by IBEW Local Chapter 613. All right, want to go to Carrollton to the GHSA state championships for cross country. Of course, they've been in Carrollton a long time. Carrollton, the high school itself, Craig, always known for great track. If you go to Carrollton, they used to have that incredible record scoreboard there. I'm not sure with all the changes if they still have it, but they do have the cross country championships there every year. Want to bring in GHSA Associate Director Tanya Anderson. Tanya, how you doing?
We're doing great. I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me.
Good. Last time I think I saw you was at Corky Kell lunch, so it's good. It's always good seeing you. Tell us a little bit about just playing in, running in Carrollton, because that's sort of been a staple for the Georgia High School Association for a long time.
Carrollton has hosted GHSA cross country for more than 30 years for us. And I can tell you from the experience with that, I've had 0 to no complaints with the event here. They have such a strong structure of support and volunteers just to make this event just a great experience for our coaches, our athletes, staff, whoever attends. They do a great job here in Carrollton.
It's funny, Tanya. I went to Lakeside in the 1970s, and of course back then, Lakeside, which has had a tremendous legacy in cross country, not just when I was there. I didn't run, by the way, but not just when I was at Lakeside, but they've had some great runners, certainly some just fabulous runners over the years. But, it was always interesting because I remember back then we had 5 years of high school. So a lot of the counties, we were called sub-freshmen. We didn't go to junior high or middle school. But I remember coming in 8th grade. One of the first things I'll remember is taking the bus in and seeing these cross-country runners run all over the neighborhoods and stuff like that. But it's really incredible. I've never felt like the sport received the merit that sometimes it deserves, because these kids work out year-round. Tell us, go through how it works, because a lot of people don't understand how a cross-country meet works.
Well, here at state, I don't know if you want me to start with the process of how you qualify. That's a little different this year. Typically,
talk to us about how you qualify for the state meet.
All right. So originally, we advanced the top 4 region, the top 4 placement in regions, that's teams, and the top 6 individuals on a region basis. This year, we went to a sectional format, sort of kind of like what we do in track and field, but we did not have region meets. We have a sectional meet. And what we did is advance our top 12 teams from each sectional. So that makes 24 teams per class. And then we advanced the top 20 individuals per sectional. But in some cases, those individuals are already on a team that advanced. So those schools are here at the state meet. They have a 2-hour time to preview the course the day before they actually run. So yesterday, our schools began coming in around 3:30 to preview the course. They leave by 5:30, and then they come back today to compete. So they start here. Our start and finish is kind of within the same area, so it makes it very exciting. We have 26 starting boxes where our teams and individuals start. We're about to start the last race right now, so you'll hear that starter making some announcements. And then they'll finish right here at the time and tent, which is very near the start line. So it's a very exciting environment here at Carrollton High School, right here, start and finish all together.
That's interesting. So you can still have like a region championship, but in terms of the qualifying, it comes down to the 2 sectionals per classification, 24 teams. So we're at 192 teams out of the classifications. Then it's boys and girls. So, I mean, how many runners are you guys dealing with this weekend?
I don't have a count from last year, but we had many more last year. I should have asked Brenda, my timer, how many runners we have today. Last year we had 3,344. Now we've condensed a little bit, and it makes it a little safer for our runners not to have to recall in the first 100 meters, which we were having to do a good bit because of just the number of runners we have. So I would assume we maybe knocked off about 20% of those runners, but the sectional experience was just incredible because you're competing with 4 other regions. But now we do recognize our region winners at the sectional meets. So we can recognize our region winners and give those awards out at the sectional meet, which makes it more exciting for those competitors in a bigger environment, more competitive environment for sectional meets.
That's right. And then obviously depth is going to be important, but in terms of the individuals, Tommy Latham from Marist, he's a 2-time individual state champ. I've seen him run in person. It's pretty remarkable just to see how much he is ahead of these other guys. He's great at track and field too. Have you seen a runner as dominant as him in recent years?
I can't say that I saw him finish at sectionals with a very good lead. So he's just very impressive. And we've had some impressive runners from all classes. Today we've done a single A division. We've done our single A through 3A private division. And we've had 5A today. So we're about to start our last race, single A Division 1. And then tomorrow we will have single A Division 2 beginning, and then 6A, 2A, 3A, and 4A. So that's our schedule for tomorrow. But we were about to start our last race today. Exciting.
We're talking to GHSA Associate Director Tanya Anderson. Tanya, how long have you been doing this? You talked about the fact it's been in Carrollton for 30 years. How many years have you been doing?
Coincidentally, I've been at GHSA 30 years. Now, I've not always been an associate director. I enjoyed doing sort of database, directory, school staff, tasks, those kind of tasks for 25 years. I enjoyed that. But then I kind of got burned out on doing that type of work. Now, mind you, any kind of work at GHSA is always rewarding. But I decided, it's time to be an associate, and this has been very rewarding to me, just to be out here with the student athletes at these meets and events that I get to coordinate and be a part of.
Well, I have to, before I let you go, I have to bring up, because one of the great cross-country runners, Craig, that have come out of Georgia actually went into our inaugural class in the Lakeside Hall of Fame. He ran back in 2002. Tanya, I don't know if you remember, his name was Joe Thorne.
Yes.
He went to Texas, was a great runner at the University of Texas. So for his mother, I have to throw his name out there.
Got it.
But listen, Tanya, we appreciate it. We know how hard everybody at the GHSA works, especially during this time of year. You had volleyball, you had softball championships. Now everybody's in the thick of football. And, of course, you in Carrollton at the cross-country championships. We'll have all the results tomorrow at ajc.com as well as scoreatl.com. So, Tanya, thank you for coming on, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks. Tanya Anderson, the Associate Director of the GHSA. It's not easy. I mean, there's a, you're talking about a lot of people running.
Yeah,
and not only individuals, but you got the teams as well, correct?
Yeah, and it's a quick turnaround, first of all, just to get everyone qualified. But you got to think in those 30 years, the technology has probably improved greatly, just being able to post results in live time. And I think it's a really just growing sport. I think there's a lot of popularity in it. It's fun to do, and it's great on the boys and girls side. Yeah, it is. All right, well, listen, coming up, we've got a lot going on. We're going to talk a little bit about tonight's bracket show. We're also going to check in with the McEachern flag football head coach and their quarterback, who was one flag football player of the week, so we'll talk to her as well. Remember, every day, Monday through Friday, right here from noon to 1, you can get your fix of high school football. And, of course, tonight you get your big fix, a 3-hour fix on our football playoff bracket show. You're watching the Georgia High School Sports Daily on the Peachtree Sports Network.
Dang, where you get this car?
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and start your future today.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting six figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back. We're gonna do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
The Mechanical Trades Institute is an opportunity towards personal financial freedom through hands-on and rewarding work. Our school is completely free and gives apprentices the knowledge and skills required to gain access to a lifelong career path. Apprentices learn pipe fitting, plumbing, mechanical service, and welding. They earn money as they learn and graduate with no student debt. Start a career with the Mechanical Trades Institute and change your financial future.
What happens after you graduate? Will you go to the next level? Will people have your back in the heat of the battle? Will you still train like a champion in pursuit of greatness? You will when you become an IBEW electrician. Join our team. Visit IBEW613.org.
All right, we're back on the Georgia High School Sports Daily, powered by IBEW Local 613. Craig, Najee, we got Najee on the big board. Wow. Anyway, that's a good look there. But we've got a really fun bracket show tonight. We'll have Rusty Mansell from On3 in the studio with us. As well as a couple people, Hayden and Max from our staff. We'll have everybody in here working hard for 3 hours, Craig. And, I'm excited about it. I mean, it's sort of somewhere, we don't get to quite unveil like ESPN does with the NCAA basketball, but there's some similarities and stuff like that. We've got some really good people coming on tonight. We've got our confirmed coaching appearances tonight will be North Gwinnett's Eric Godfrey. Of course, they've played extremely well all season, and I watch out for them. We'll talk about them. Harrison's Lugman Salam, Schley County's Darren Alford, North Cobb Christian's Matt Jones, and then, of course, the old man himself, Alan Chadwick from Marist. And I will call him the old man tonight, which will upset him. I've known that family forever, big fans of the Chadwick family. Of course, Alan was one of three brothers that were just fabulous high school and college football players. But Najee, we'll bring you in tonight. We've got all these brackets. We'll start looking at them and, taking a look at some of these good first-round matchups. We've talked about our television game, which is going to be North Cobb, which I think is going to be with Camden County, North Cobb hosting Camden County. I think that's going to be a great first-round matchup. And Najee, I think what getting rid of 7A did was it sort of squeezed everything in the middle. And instead of just getting blowout after blowout in the first round, I think we're going to get some pretty good football games.
Yeah, I agree with you, IJ. I think we're going to have a lot of parity. You look at the 4A classification specifically, it's really a toss-up. You have so many great teams, BT, Cartersville, Perry, North Oconee, so many elite teams. And I that's what I think I like the most. And I think that's going to pose for more upsets in the first round, potentially for some of these teams. You better be ready to play, even if you are a home opponent. You got to handle your business, or you could be going home early.
Let's talk a little bit, Craig, about each of the real quick, each of the classifications and some of the games that we know, are going to take place. One of them that we just talked about was North Cobb, Camden having to make the drive up and play North Cobb, which I think should be an interesting. The other game that I'm really excited about watching up here with a Southern team coming up is Valdosta playing Walton. You know, as Walton, you know, obviously is not the same team they were last year, but Valdosta's got to make the 4.5-hour drive. Craig, you went and played there. I think they're going to have a tough time beating the Raiders.
I completely agree. So Walton, they are a much different team than they were last year, obviously, but I think their defense has been rock solid. Their defense has given them a chance in games. They can shut down the run. It's obviously going to be focusing on Todd Robinson. Can they eliminate the big play? But then offensively, Walton hasn't really showed all their cards yet. I think Jude Cascone can get more involved in the offense. Christian Ward's having a great season. His younger brother is as well. It's just going to be about turnovers for Walton. That is what has killed them this season. You look at the two really tough losses they had. The North Cobb one, I felt like they were a little outmatched, but the games that were disappointing, it was the Norcross game and the Roswell game.
The Norcross game, they just gave it up.
They had the 4 defensive touchdowns they surrendered. Same with Roswell. They couldn't stop the big play. I think that they figured it out defensively. It's just going to be about protecting the football and how much confidence they have in Caden Gilstrap going against a very elite Valdosta defense. It will be tough, but if Walton plays well and maybe gets a little creative offensively, I think they have enough talent.
Najee, talk about, I think probably the best matchup, first-round matchup maybe in the entire state is Mill Creek and Douglas County. Mill Creek, of course, won the state title a few years back. Douglas County has been at the top the last couple of years looking for their first state title. But, I mean, that's a first-round game, Mill Creek having to travel over to Douglas County.
Yeah, it's a heck of a game, IJ, and I'll tell you what, they have an elite coach, and Josh Lovelady has already won a state championship, beat Carrollton a few years back with Caleb Downs and Trajan Greco, and so many elite players. Jamal Anderson Jr. Is another one as well. So I think it's really entertaining to see who's going to come out in that one. Douglas County, when you look at what they can do, they can throw the ball, but it hasn't been as fine-tuned of the offense as we used to kind of seeing, right? Leaning on Marcus Lindley, but you got to get those guys involved, the Devin Carters, the Aaron Gregory's of the world, James Johnson's committed to USC. But I tell you what, if they underrate Mill Creek, they can come in there and pull that off. Like, they can run the ball with Daniel Smith. They can get it to the outside with Luke Metz. They got pieces in there that can definitely make some noise.
I'll tell you, a 5A first-round matchup that I really, really like to keep an eye on. Sprayberry, of course, won Region, I think they won Region 6 5A. They're the top seed there. They will host Lanier. Lanier, of course, with Keith Ballew's son coaching there, has done a great job.
And they have a great running back. They ran all over Roswell in a shootout game, so that'll be a tough one. I really like Sprayberry, though. Jaden Duckett, he is a quarterback that can run around, make plays, improvise. His receivers are dialed in with him. I think Sprayberry has a special team this year, one of the best they've had in a while. Definitely will be a tough matchup. Another game, just back to 6A real quick, where really, I don't know who's going to come out. It's that Hillgrove and South Gwinnett game. That's a very intriguing matchup. South Gwinnett obviously lost to Grayson a couple weeks ago. Hillgrove had its tough loss to Harrison, but I think the winner of that's going to play either Peachtree Ridge or North Atlanta. That's a winnable game. So I think the winner of that South Gwinnett Hillgrove has a chance to make it to the Elite Eight.
And Najee, real quickly, you know, one game to watch out for in Class 4A. Marist, of course, has been great all season, but you know, Warner Robins is coming up, and, you know, when you got to play Warner Robins, it doesn't matter what year, that's always going to be a battle.
Yes, it is, IJ. And real quick, I mean, they're going to have to stop that wing T. We know how physical Marist is. They like to pound the rock. You're going to have to be able to slow that down with Jack Uwar, who's having an underrated season. It's been spectacular so far this year for them. Warner Robins, the two pieces that you got to watch out for, Isaiah Gibson and Rashawn Dinkins. They got to get involved.
All right, thanks, Naj. All right, we're going to be back in about a couple of minutes. We're going to talk about the flag football head coach. We're going to talk to head coach Jake Bergdorf and his quarterback, who has won the flag player of the week. Don't forget tonight, 8 o'clock, our bracket show right here on the Peachtree Sports Network. All right, welcome back. Final segment, Friday, Georgia High School Sports Daily, right here on the Peachtree Sports Network. Don't want anybody to miss our show, our bracket show tonight, which will be 8 to 11. You'll have the opportunity to see where all the brackets are standing. As we talked about earlier, Class 6, 5, 4, and Division, I guess was it Class A, Division 2.
Yep, those are all
those
set.
brackets are pretty much set, except for a couple of games that are going to need to be played, and then the other ones are power ranking. But we'll have a pretty good idea of where everybody is going to be seated. Well, we have our weekly flag football player of the week. I want to bring in the McEachern head coach, Jake Bergdorf, who has been on this show like 10 times already. He's a regular. We've got their quarterback with us, Chelsea Njoku. Is that, Chelsea, is that the way to pronounce it? I miss it at all? I did?
Yes.
Well, you know, with the coo at the end, do they boo you out there or coo you on the field like they do at Mercedes-Benz for their kicker?
No.
Well, we had the opportunity. Well, first of all, I want to congratulate you on winning the Flag Player of the Week, but also had the opportunity to see you play at Corky Kell. Got a chance to also see you play at our Flag 7-on-7 that we did in the summer. So you're quite a player. And let's just go over some statistics real quick. 67 of 103 passing for 884 yards and 15 touchdowns last week as McEachern beat Osborne 34-0, South Cobb 13-0, Hughes 25-0, and Walton 46-7. And basically right now you are, what, 13-0, I think, right, Coach?
Yeah, we are, and we play 4 games tomorrow as well.
13-0, we've got 4 games tomorrow, 5-0 in Area 3, and of course you're on top of the rankings here in Division 4. And Chelsea, talk a little bit about how you yourself got into flag and what motivated you to join the team.
Well, actually, it was my sophomore year my freshman year going into my sophomore year. My friend, we were just like, let's go out there and try out. I came out, and then Coach B was like, you'll be a really good center. So at first, I was playing center. So then after that, I didn't really like the position, so he changed me to receiver. And then I was like, one day, stayed after practice, and I was like, let me play quarterback for our JV team. And then that's how I got into it.
And talk about future for you as far as flag football. Where do you see yourself going from high school?
As of right now, I hold like a couple of offers from different colleges, but I don't really know 100% right now where I see myself.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you're going to end up with a good school to study at and a good school to play at. Coach, talk about your quarterback. You know, we've had the opportunity to watch her, extremely athletic, great arm. She also does, she seems to check down. She doesn't look just for one receiver. She does a good job of checking down to all her receivers. But tell us a little bit about Chelsea.
Yeah, no, Chelsea has a really high IQ. I can't speak on that enough. She knows exactly who she's supposed to look at, whether it be a linebacker one play, getting her eyes to the cornerback on a certain route combination. And she understands, too, how to read the rush. The rush pushes us one way. So if the rush pushes us to the left, then her eyes get to the linebacker on the left, and she reads it from there. And if it, you know, let's say our center gets beat or our up back gets beat, she understands just to dump it now, get rid of it quickly. I think she's only been sacked maybe 3 times in 13 games, which says a lot about her and her decision making, being able to get rid of the ball quickly. And obviously, you know, this sport is such a quarterback driven sport, and she's really just kind of taken it head on and really done everything she can in her power to learn and to understand what to do with the football. And our, you know, obviously she has some great receivers around her as well that are doing a phenomenal job, but her decision making is what keeps us in games, honestly.
Absolutely. And Chelsea, first of all, congratulations on winning the Player of the Week. Obviously, this year we're going to be doing the Mr. and Mrs. Georgia High School football, and I've got to think your name's going to be in the finalists for the Flag Football Player of the Year. I want to ask you about Chelsea real quick, Jake. A lot of teams we see, they tend to have an offense where they might run the ball more. You guys really rely on the pass, and it seems like Chelsea's able to spread the ball out throughout the field, buy herself time. What gives you the confidence to be such a pass-oriented team where some might rely on the run a little bit more?
Well, again, I come from a football background, and you can't block and flag. You can't put your hands on people. So if you're playing a really, really athletic team and your scheme is to strictly run the football, chances are you're not going to be as successful or be able to score and move the ball down the field. So this game is really pass-oriented where, we will run the ball some, but it's more so like a triple option look, more of an RPO look, where we're not blocking anybody, but we're reading linebackers. If they get nosy, we'll throw a slant behind them and stuff like that. But that's just always been our offensive scheme, and it really takes a quarterback that really has to buy into the system and know what to do with the football. At times, I feel like we have too much in too many plays, and Chelsea would tell you the same thing too. And but we spend a lot of time, throwing routes on every single day, and we have a certain system of how we practice to help everyone be successful.
Well, Chelsea, we certainly want to invite you to play in the Georgia Elite Flag Classic, our first one for flag, which will be on the 26th and 27th. And Jake, since we've had you on so many times, we'd love for you to coach in it. So we'll talk about that. Of course, Jake's one of the leading flag coaches and has done a great job of everything. Well, listen, we appreciate it. Want to congratulate both of you guys. We wish you the best tomorrow in your 4 games. Chelsea, congratulations. We'll get you the award.
Thank you.
We'll get it out to McEachern, but keep up the good work, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Thanks, guys. Craig, flag football.
Yeah, she
4
is
different
unbelievable.
Classifications now. Yeah.
And I knew when we saw them, this is the team to beat in 6A this year. And she's just so athletic, but I think what impressed me, she's able to move backwards, by the time, avoid the sack, and she's got an unbelievable arm.
All right. Well, listen, tonight, 8 o'clock, don't forget, we will be right here for 3 hours for our bracket show for the GHSA High School Football Playoffs, right here on the Peachtree Sports Network.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off. Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at georgiaconstructioncareers.com.
Beginning the morning you opened your eyes, we spent every waking moment preparing you for the day you'd leave our nest. Whether it's driving to practice or helping with homework, it's all prepared you for, what am I going to be when I grow up? Will you be ready?
After much thought, I made my decision to take my talents to the IBEW Local 613.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers is not simply a job, it's a career. Visit IBEW613.org to begin a new future today.